the Authentic Empress. So, I just woke up, y'all. I just woke up. But anyway, there's this energy of people feeling disappointed, feeling embarrassed, and feeling ashamed. They feel like they humiliated themselves. And this is because it's giving the energy of people trying to rewrite your story, rewrite your identity, to add to a story that they've been building for themselves. Even if um, there's some type of strong illusion behind the story that they've been building. And nonetheless, um, regardless if this was just them manifesting the life that they desire for themselves, that's not exactly where they went wrong. Where they went wrong is how they felt like they needed you to be in order for them to achieve this life that they desire or that they're trying to manifest. This is energies who needed you to be this underdog, or they needed you to be defeated, or this failure in their story. And that's just not the case. And in order for them to even do that or be able to manifest that, it's like they would need you to not love yourself, to not believe in yourself. There's something about people can't use this energy of this strategy of threatening you anymore. Um, and I'm saying, like, if there's some type of partnership, if there's some type of agreement or contractual agreement, even if it's just like a spiritual contractual agreement, there's something about energy is always trying to threaten you. This can even be like passively or like subtle threats, um, in order to reestablish some type of control over you, or feeling like they need to resort to this to reestablish control over a situation involving you and them. Especially if you're making them feel, if you're making them feel any kind of negative feelings. This could even be people who would try to be shady with you, who would blatantly try to make you question yourself or question your thoughts or your beliefs and how you show up in your decisions. Like they want you to doubt your decisions that very much so was intuitively based or intuitively guided, divinely guided. And this is why they find themselves dealing with this karma involving like almost like their will turning backwards. Because in actuality, these are people who wanted you to feel let down from some pursuit of goals or whatever. Like this can even be like wanting you to be humble if you're somebody who has big dreams. Um, and there's something that you're proving. And the thing is like it's something that all these people have in common, and it has a lot to do with their attachment style. Um, so this could even be people who thought they were one upping you, or they had an advantage because of certain attachments that they had, or connections, or things that were in a that reflected the status quo, like um, of our society. Like this could be like people using like their relationship, people using some type of advantage that they have in business, or advantages that they have in some kind of network. These are people who have found themselves after experiencing you, um, having some type of tug of war or meeting your energy with resistance. They've discovered that for the ones who thought that they had a connection with the divine, like there's something about your energy testing these people's connection with the divine. So this is why before I move forward, there's this documentary on Netflix that I saw today when I was getting my hair done, and it's called Toxic Love Triangle. So you guys may want to check that out. Some of you guys may have seen it, but man, I was just thinking to myself when I was watching it, like sometimes when I do these readings or when I get downloads and even some of the dreams that I have, it's crazy like the kind of stuff that comes out, and because that's not directly my lifestyle, I'm not um I'm not, moving out of this space of desperation where I feel like I have to spend so much time creating false narratives just to eliminate a person because I feel threatened by them. You get what I'm saying? That's not our that's not our experience. That's not our mentality. Okay, we're not there. Whatever that frequency is, like it's crazy. And I don't necessarily want to um, tell the story, but it's like the extremes that people are willing to go. You get what I'm saying? Like just to reestablish control and fulfill twisted fantasies simultaneously. And that's literally something that it was. And just to do a quick briefing, there was this guy, he met this girl, and he pretty much love bombed her. They met on a dating site, he love bombed her. And everything seemed good at first. He seemed like he was wholesome, considering like what he did for work or whatever. And unfortunately, she was kind of naive going into the situation because, as in her words, she wanted the white picket fence lifestyle. So status quo energy, right? And so after they hung out for a little while, things were moving quickly, and so he convinced her to purchase a place with her, with him, and they moved in together. And she basically spent all her savings to, move in with this guy that she's only known for a few months, just because of the fairy tale like energy that was going on between them. So fast forward, after she's now moved in, now he's asking her for weird or odd requests, like wanting to see her sleep with another man. Like basically trying to use her to fulfill dark fantasies. And because she wanted to, it's given narcissism too, but this person was a fucking psychopath. Um, in order to reestablish, like, or basically get back what she got from him when she met him in the beginning, even though she kept saying no, 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 he would wear her down for weeks and weeks at a time and play this little game with her. Like whenever she feel like, okay, I can't do this anymore, I think I'm gonna leave, he would soften, and then he'll go back to basically overwhelming her to get her to do it. So she finally did it once, thinking that, okay, well, if I scratch this itch for him, maybe he'll leave me alone. But of course, it didn't stop there. Fast forward, they break up. He moves in another female. Um, Boom, moves quickly with her. Supposedly gets her pregnant. And it's the reason why I'm saying supposedly, because she turned out not to be pregnant at all. So they created this narrative against the original female, um, with a string of fake emails and texts. They basically created an email and made it seem like she was the one emailing his new girl, harassing her, threatening her, um, threatening to harm her and hire people to hurt her and stuff like that. Um, they even went as far as faking a domestic dispute. Like the girl called the police, which there was a series of police phone calls that were all fake, accusing this first female of harassing and sending people to hurt her, to rape her, all type of shit. So they created a whole scene where she claimed that the girl successfully sent somebody to assault her. So she's all shattered. She's crying. She's acting like a deer in headlights. You get what I'm saying? Had this whole little splash of something on the wall where she was supposedly, like, her story was saying that the person pushed her face against the wall and stuff. You know, they was attempting to harass her. So, would y'all believe that all this shit was fake? All this shit was made up. And the thing is, the new girlfriend who kind of participated in doing these things to eliminate the original girl, she was being coached by the guy. Like, she's being coached by him, somebody who was a U.S. Marshal. So he used his position to basically let down people's defenses or make it seem like he's an official. So why, not even to question him as a suspect. Um, But yeah, the new girlfriend, apparently she had a history of lying, playing damsel, playing victim. Like, she faked a cancer diagnosis in her previous relationship. Um, she faked what she did for work. Okay, she had like these fake credentials. Um, and that's crazy because that energy with the lady Cheyenne Bryant and her fake credentials, like, it's crazy how all this. I just came across that, and then I saw this documentary today. So there is something about somebody faking their credentials, okay, or faking as if they're a credible source when they're not. This even be like credible in giving or providing some type of information. Where are you going? Exactly. Don't do that. So anyway, fast forward. It comes out that it wasn't just the new girlfriend that was lying and creating these fake tests, and she wasn't really pregnant. They found out these fake pregnancy tests. Um, and I'm sitting here like, well, damn. Besides the ones that people buy, or they find somebody that's pregnant, they get them to take the test. How the hell do a person fake a pregnancy test? Like, this lady had found, like, she had a blue pen to basically create um, the markings on the damn test and make it seem like it was positive. Yo, like, what the hell, bro? Like, it was just crazy. Like, so yeah, like, it's just the things that they were willing to do to frame this girl, and they actually successfully got her arrested. Like, she was detained because they did a restraining order based off the emails of harassment and stuff like that she never sent. Um, I want to say when her and the guy initially broke up, she sent him two messages, and they were like kind of religious based. Like, she was basically saying that God would defend her and justice would be served. So they mocked her spiritual language and created a string of fake emails and texts to make it seem like she was continuously messaging them when the whole time she was escaping this man because of the abuse. And that's intentional, by the way. At the end of the day, he's a cat. You know what I'm saying? Um, People will try to use things uh, or use people, places, and things to create disruption and distractions. So I hope you guys can just ignore that, because that's something he will do sometimes when he doesn't get his way. So he'll intentionally be louder or make more noise than necessary. Okay. So there can be something significant about that too. Like, um, so again, fast forward, these people, they didn't care about putting this woman's life in danger. They didn't care about her family's lives and their reputation. This guy went as far as going to fantasy websites. Um, I was today this old when I really found out that there's a such thing as rape fantasy, where people fantasize about creating scenarios as if they're being raped for some type of sexual thrill, like it's a fetish. Um, And so they were going on this website, hiring men or seeing if they could recruit men to go sit down. Now, seeing if they could recruit or hire men to basically come to this girl's address under the impression or under the authorities' impression that the ex paid this man to go to the new girl address and rape her or assault her and possibly murder her, right? Because just to reflect the emails that were sent. Excuse me. So those of us, who are more sensible, of course you're gonna think like, well, damn, like they're not thinking about the IP address, like all that stuff. Like when the investigation like really starts, all that is gonna be looked into. Like, are y'all okay? Like, are y'all here? Are y'all there? So eventually, they get some real detectives on the case, like to basically watch the interviews and listen to the audio calls and read the emails, and they were able to find out that even though the guy thought he had a way out by blaming the new girlfriend for being crazy and she made all this up, and I was just trying to protect her, he was actually the one coaching her the whole time, because he had his own personal vendetta against his ex. So they both were psychopathic, and I'm just like, I'm thinking like how crazy it was that two psychopaths even aligned with each other like that. But I mean, when you think about aligning with frequency and narcissists aligning with each other, or narcissistic dynamics, or empath aligning with another empath, like you attract the frequency you're on, as well as aligning with the frequencies that your frequency may either prey upon or have the ability to nourish or nurture, create harmony, right? So in their case, they were both predators in two different ways, and so they aligned. And the fact that she was already a perpetual victim, like she would use that to her advantage to get her way, okay, or she was deriving something from that. Um, they were able to work together, and yeah. So I'm telling y'all this because the fake pregnancy test, the fake screen of emails, the fake police funk, like this was going on for months at a time. They were keeping this up. Hiring men from fantasy websites to accuse somebody of doing that. Like, so of course, my mind, considering the experiences that I've had with people harassing me, or this particular person harassing me and stalking me and shit, gang stalking, all that, it's mind blowing to me, how sinister and diabolical people are, like, and devoted to a lie. Like, even when in her previous relationship, she was faking her cancer diagnosis, she took a photo of, like, I guess the IV or whatever, like from supposedly her point of view, which the guy she was dating at the time, he was getting inklings that something was off. So something told his intuition told him to search that photo, and he went, I want to say, to like the fourth or fifth page on Google. And right when he was about to quit, he found the photo that she sent him, pretending like she's in the hospital, getting chemotherapy and shit like that. Like, she was wearing a hat, hiding her hair, making it seem like she was subconscious about her hair falling out, but her hair was never falling out. Like, she put on this whole story to fool him, his family, his mother, and his friends. And even when they confronted her, she was still trying to deny. And there was even one person so head gone by her victim act that they were still trying to protect her, even though the evidence were surmountable. So I feel like that's what's going on for some of us with some of these people, or a particular person who could be connected to an ex. Like, you literally could have an ex and who they're working with, like, they just obsessed with you, and fabricating these stories, okay, working together, um, to try and paint you out. Basically, they just want to disrupt your life, your opportunities, and in a way silence you, because of what you may know. Okay, this can even be because of your intuition or your insight or your gifts or whatever. And it's inevitable for these people to, get caught up. This is their story. Again, there's this energy of people feeling a way about the karma that they're receiving, because they can't force you into this fantasy of their own, a fantasy that actually is at your expense. Like they just can't. Now I'm not saying you guys are coming from a space of being naive and gullible to the extent of the lady in your story. But in a way, there's something about how wholesome you are, because that's what she kept saying. She came from a very wholesome background as well. All of us didn't, okay? But still, she was very wholesome. And she assumed that the guy was as well. And that's how he was able to deceive her. There's something significant about obvious alarming, like obvious signs to create some type of alarm, okay, about somebody that you used to deal with that you overlooked. And your mediator, peacemaker energy, and mind you, this can be romantic, this can be platonic, business, all of that. And you could have more than likely experienced this with everybody in all of these arenas. Um, but there's just this energy of um, giving a lot of grace and wanting to mediate, being patient, even trying to have or even having a conversation, and people kind of giving you a response to make it seem like they're receptive, but feeling triggered by the fact that you even challenged them or you stood your ground, okay, or you showed some type of strength against them trying to weaken you or them trying to test your spirit or dominate you, right? Um, and that's what I'm saying. Like this energy of trying to threaten you, like if you're a part of something with these people, there's something about your own path, your own story, whatever you're building, cultivating for yourself. Like it's a lot more desirable than whatever they have to offer. So it's like them trying to threaten you with whatever you participated in that could be their idea, could be their story. You know what I'm saying? It's their story, it's not yours. You know what I'm saying? So you don't give a damn. Like if anything, y'all are in this energy of like, yo, I really don't give a fuck about nobody that's on demon time, nobody that's trying to like be weird unnecessarily, nobody that's trying to play like these little power games with me, motherfuckers who want to play oblivious when they know what the fuck they did. Like I'm not doing this with none of y'all. I'm not doing that shit. I don't care who you are. I don't care how I feel about you. I don't care if I love you still. I'm not doing this with none of y'all. No. Like this is giving like um denying invitations to their game or to their delusion. Like you're denying all invitations that have some type of delusional undertone. Okay, that they're needing you to be less than, or it's like they're wanting to son you or daughter you unnecessarily because of something that they're witnessing going on with you, like in regards to like something going good for you. Like they're thinking that this is like people trying to threaten you like passively and stuff like that, um because you haven't been speaking to them. You've withdrawn your energy, rightfully so. It was well deserved for you to pull your energy back and withdraw your energy. And instead of just being honest about what they did to lead, for things to lead to that, they're still trying to use like these little passive tactics and stuff to get energy out of you, to get a reaction out of you, or to feel more important than they actually are in your fucking life. No, you're not that important if you're trying to pull me down. No, you're not that important if you're trying to pull me down. trying to pull me back. No, you're not that important if you're trying to create some type of static or chaos within my energy or my mind, my thought space. No, you're not that important. And every bit of how you're showing up is making these people feel unimportant. So this is why they're making or they're taking actions like out of desperation here, because you were supposed to be desperate in their story, and you're simply not. They were supposed to be the boss B in their story, and you're simply not, but you are. Okay. It was crazy. So I didn't get a chance to share. Um, it says called doing what they projected onto you. I didn't get a chance to share a dream that I had yesterday with you guys, but the main part of the dream, there was a few portions in the dream. There's something about some people or some females referring to themselves as captains or the captain, okay? Again, so this is like somebody putting themselves on some kind of pedestal or something like that. But there was a lot of arrogance attached to it. Um, there's a lot of entitlement attached to it. So this is like there's something about a fraudulent identity that these people tell themselves or chant to themselves, like I guess so that they can believe it or to make others believe it, but they're just simply not that. Okay. Um, but there was this person. I was going mattress shopping. I was looking at like some queen size mattresses in in the dream, and somebody had told me they was like, "Who is that person like watching you or whatever?" But I had caught the person out the corner of my eye, like they were like in the entrance. And what's so crazy about wherever I was at looking at these mattresses is like it kind of reminded me of one of my old schools, like from when I was younger, like just the structure of like how the hall looked when the person was at the entrance. So they were like just watching me, but there was this energy of this is somebody who's been watching me, who's been stalking me, like what the fuck. So the person who alerted me to the person watching me is an Aries. It's my older cousin, my first cousin. And so somebody's name could be Darius, somebody's name could be Project, or there could be something about somebody who works at some type of job where they're having to create projects, or somebody could live in some type of apartment complex or could be from an apartment complex, could have connections with people who are okay. I know like back home from South Carolina, you feel me? So y'all know there are some places like some apartments we call them the projects, right? And the only reason I mention that is because that's my cousin's nickname, who's in the dream telling me about the person, like, like who the fuck is that, right? So there was an interaction between me and that person who was watching me, and basically I pumped the person out. Okay, so that was that. Um, Now, again, my cousin is an Aries, so that's how I know, like, okay, so Aries energy, like war, confrontation, facing things head on, directedness, emperor energy, the fool energy. You get what I'm saying? So this is how I'm looking at it. Um, this is somebody who feels threatened by your new beginning because again, I'm in there shopping like for like a new mattress and stuff like that, and it's crazy because these things are supposed to be packaged, like still in the packaging, but there was one mattress I saw right before the person showed up and it was stained. And I was like, why is this mattress stained? Like it's supposed to be new, right? And then boom, that person showed. This is somebody who's trying to be a stain in your life, okay? Or this is how their energy is showing up. It's almost like randomly stepping on or putting your hand in something wet out of nowhere, and it's like, ugh, like cringe. Like this is how somebody like intrusively is like trying to show up in your energy. Like they want to be a stain in your life. Like um, And even thinking back on that documentary, the toxic love triangle. That's what it's called. The girl was so deeply traumatized. You get what I'm saying? So it's like somebody wanted you to be deeply traumatized that you would just be stained with this for the rest of your life. And it's like a stain that you're trying to get out that you can't get out. Like this is how they wanted some type of tragedy or traumatic experience or toxic cycles to linger in your nervous system or linger like in your energy, like almost almost like they wanted you to translate that energy to your new chapter, like your future, your new decisions and new experiences and things like that, right? But that's just simply not the case. And it's given that they're the one that's literally stained. And the way I'm hearing it is that this energy of thinking that they're going to just avoid accountability, they're going to do some type of sweetening energy, okay, around it and be able to reestablish some type of access to you or some type of old dynamic that you've outgrown. Okay, this is somebody, there's something about wanting you to be stunted as well, like in your growth, or you started off at a certain place when connecting with someone and they wanted you to stay where you were when y'all met. And there's something about them feeling offended about you growing, because you could have been growing quickly as well. So that was unexpected. Like this is even getting, it doesn't matter what the situation looked like when these people were in the beginning stages of connecting with you and stuff like. It does not matter. Um, there's something there's something that they, please go sit down. Stop being defiant. Stop being defiant. Spoiled. These are people that you could have spoiled. You could have spoiled these people with your presence, with um, your love, your loyalty. Please go sit down. Please, damn. And y'all could even like be in that energy with them. Like, yo, like please sit the fuck down. Okay? And you know, like just to be accountable, okay? Yeah. This is giving like these are people who was spoiled by how we are or how we showed up with them, even when they were um, taking actions to be like passively aggressive and um, trying to undermine you and say something out the side of their neck every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, and you giving them grace or you sticking around longer, okay, than you should have, maybe, right? You know, can't nothing or nobody stop your emotion, even if they try to use a child or children or whatever to manipulate an outcome to work against you. Okay. Um, these people could be experiencing like some type of haunting of your energy or being haunted by things that they've done, things that they said to you. And so them trying to like passively threaten you somehow or even like love bomb you, there's something that feels very weak about them trying to love bomb you now opposed to back then. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't feel confident in love bombing you either. Okay. Yeah, you got consistent, consecutive, constant witchcraft out of desperation. Because they did something entirely too much. Okay. They did something too much. So you're literally, you have like this spiritual and this psychological, emotional immunity to these old ass tactics. So yeah, like you're just not here for it, and you're leaving it to like the Most High and the angels that protect you and your ancestors that protect you. You're leaving it to them to establish justice in the situation. because these people are refusing to do it on their behalf. They're refusing to do their part, and they're still trying to find ways around the shit. Just because they don't want to give you the satisfaction of respecting you. They don't want to give you the satisfaction of, okay, you saw me, you really saw me, you see me, you caught me out of my shit, okay, and you were right. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's even be people who's trying to hide the karma that they've been experiencing from moving funny with you, like, okay, and it's like they want, it's like this energy of trying to project or like insert that energy into what you got going into your emotion. Like, you see, be people who want you to doubt your full potential. Like, even if you are aware of your potential and you are experiencing some type of emotion, they still want you to doubt your full potential. Like, just how far you can really go. Like, just how capable you truly are. Like, they're still wanting to object that. Like, I object. Like, this is giving like I'm here married to the game. And these are people who are married to some type of games here, okay? While you're married to your purpose, you're married to your destiny. The overall energy that came out before I went live was the Wheel of Fortune. You're married to your destiny, and these are motherfuckers in, like in the audience is, I object. And then whenever, you give it attention, okay, why do you object? They don't have no real reason. You get what I'm saying? Because, and they're not going to tell the truth of why they're objecting, which is because they're hating on you. They've been secretly competing with you. That's why they object to you being married to your destiny, to you being married to some type of abundance, you being married to some type of success, you being married to some type of level up, you being married to your boundaries. This is why they object, because they still have to maintain this demeanor, tough demeanor. They still have to try to fake that they're unbothered when they've been bothered the whole time. Okay? But they need to prove that they're just as unbothered as you are. But you're rightfully unbothered to things that are harmful. Okay? That in the past people have been able to weaponize with you or against you. Okay? So this is like people trying to weaponize silence. That shit don't work with you no more. And something that you realize or you know for a fact is that when you go silent, it's far more painful. It's far more difficult. It's far more challenging for them to get through. Okay? Period. Because you going silent is because of something that is valid. Like, it's actually valid for you to go silent on whoever these people are. They use their silence to try and manipulate the energy, try and dominate your energy, or whenever they feel threatened by something that you're supposed to do, then they'll weaponize silence. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. That's just what it is, bro. You gotta listen to God. These are people who should have listened to God, or they feel ashamed because they ignore some kind of warnings here. They ignore their conscience, and they wanted to disprove, or like they wanted to prove a narrative that is against how you actually show up when it comes to your faith. Okay, because you actually listen to God. They don't want to give you the credit that the reason why you're so headstrong. Please, there you go, perfect. Yeah, sit in bed right there. Thank you. And that's what I'm talking about. They don't want to like. It's crazy because when I'm about to say certain things, that's when he comes over here being extra. Well, they're gonna have to find a way to make peace with this because God is about to spoil you even more, and that's just no period. Like, if they felt some type of way about you listening to God and not listening to their bullshit, listening to their static and their noise, okay? That they were, it's like they wanted you to be haunted by how they want to choose to show up with you today. You know what I'm saying? But you're listening to God. It's like they can't overshadow your communication with the divine, okay, with your soul, you know, your soul and the divine source. They can't, yeah, they can't crowd that out. So there can even be this energy of like, if there's certain songs that you don't like, there's something significant about it feeling like these songs are being forced on you. Like when you go certain places, or maybe even on your phone and shit, like, or you click on certain things thinking that it's something else, and boom, you're being bombarded by a song you intentionally go out of your way not to listen to. Like, this is giving spin that for me. There's a few songs I do my best to maneuver around because I'm not here for that spell. You get what I'm saying? I'm not opening myself up to that. So there's a huge win on the horizon because of you moving this way. Not even just with actual music, but the music of people's beliefs and people's thoughts and people's opinions of you. You get what I'm saying? It's like this is giving like, damn, I ain't never downloaded this shit on my playlist. Where is this coming from? Okay, and so it pop up, and you skip it, or let's say your phone connected to the car, but you step out and you get back in, and then boom, you're bombarded with the song. Like, damn, like skip. But they're wanting like that little bit of exposure to some bullshit or an opinion or a threat or their bias. Okay, they're wanting that to linger in your energy as long as possible. And it's just not. It's just not. And this can have something to do with God rewarding you faithfully, God spoiling you, okay? God illuminating you to some type of win, okay? Or this can even be you experiencing some wins here. This can even be like little small things. This could be like just pleasant interactions, okay? Not just, and that's the thing too. That's the difference between you and them when it comes to your gratitude, okay? It says harsh cycles only prove just how pure you are. So I'm telling you, these are people who thought putting you through some type of harsh conditions or cycles or being harsh toward you was going to bring out like something dark and sinister that was going to automatically deny this act that you've been putting up. I'm just speaking from how they're looking at it, okay? With this, listen, you see how God came out twice. Listen to God. God is about to spoil you even more. These are people who are working at like disproving your faith, or it says your beauty presence stops people in their tracks. Natural way. These are people who are like jealous and envious of like how people like love you, like from you being yourself. And there's something about there's something about how organic and genuine your interaction is with people, or like when you show up, how you show up with people. It's not fake. It's not a front. Like you don't have to pretend to be a certain type of way to be liked, to be received, for people to keep wanting to work with you, for people to keep wanting. I'm here. I want you around. People don't want you around. You don't have to put on and act like people genuinely like you, but it's coming from people feel this love vibrating from you. They feel a sincerity. They feel an authenticity and integrity like vibrating off of you. They feel this gratitude energy vibrating off of you, like because of you loving yourself, because how much you love yourself. And there's something like it's kind of obvious that you love a higher power. You serve a higher power. Like there's just you got I love you for you, flaws and all. You can be the type of person that love people in this way, and it's felt. Okay, it's it's picked up on through the conversation that they have with you, through how you look at them, and how you're able to speak to parts of them that most people overlook. And some people overlook on purpose because they're envious about that in that person. They're intimidated about that in that person. And because you've experienced this firsthand, like especially when it comes to these harsh cycles that only prove just how pure you are. I, I love you for you, flaws and all. You love yourself for you, flaws and all. It's like you're providing a love that's unique, a love that's rare, a love that's able to cleanse, purify, heal, nourish, and nurture those things that most people who are I'm thinking of like your eyes being too big, like so just something about this energy of glamour, glitter, like people who are just so moved and distracted by materialism, like far too much, okay? Um, and this could even, so this is given like you went through cycles of people having more or having certain things that on a base level, on a core level, we all desire for the most part, and them thinking that this was some type of win over you, or this is what helped them feel confident, or feel like they could really match your genuine confidence. You get what I'm saying? Like, or that they could really compete with it. But there's something about that energy of you got to be careful that you really learn how to love yourself and not just love yourself based off you thinking somebody love you or how much you think somebody love you or other people love you or how they treat you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're somebody like you have people intentionally who intentionally didn't want you to feel love, experience love. They wanted to taint the love, or there was some type of illusions around love. Okay, to make you feel like this was supposed to inadvertently like make you not love yourself or feel like you're unlovable, you're unworthy. But it's like you show up in the opposite. Like you respond the way God wants us to respond. You get what I'm saying? Like love yourself, even if other people forsake you. Don't forsake yourself, right? And this is why your connection with the divine is so solid. Like because who else told you or gave you these gems of wisdom that you can literally apply to your literal life and the lives of others? Harsh cycles only prove just how pure you are, right? Knowing yourself, knowing that you shown up with these people with genuine intentions, okay? Being considerate of their feelings, even sometimes at your expense, and that's what you're no longer doing anymore, okay? That's just not what you're doing anymore. And again, if they need to write that off in their story as if, um, oh, you don't like me because of this, or because I have this, or you're you're being defiant because I have this, and da, 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 and you don't, or whatever they need to tell themselves, y'all don't give two fucks. I mean, you've been, fabricating shit, manipulating the truth. That's why you're on the outside looking in now. That's why. That's why you're there in the first place. So continue to be there with that energy because that's where it's gonna keep you outside of mind. And that's just that. I'm telling you, like these are people like it's like they felt intimidated by your beauty and your presence and your effect on people. Okay. hmm Confirmation, memorable impact. Yep. This is given like, yeah, even if they try to make you feel like these are people who try to make you feel forgettable, not that important, okay? But you got the reality, and you know it too. You know the truth is that you left a memorable impact on all of these people because of your angelic energy, and that's just the reality. That's just the reality. They didn't experience somebody like you before. They didn't have the type of friendship. They just haven't. Okay? Lots of happy times are ahead for you because you deserve it and you earned it. You're being placed in rooms. You're being placed in rooms your people betrayed you to be in. Hmm. Yeah. And this decision that you made, listen, a decision away from a completely different life. You settled on that decision. Period. And there's a trickster spirit. They were a decision away from a completely different life, but they continued to be or embrace this trickster energy. Okay? Yeah. Perverted family and or friends. These are the people that we're talking about right now. These people could be desperate to regain your trust, but it's like, well, damn, how about be honest? And y'all could be telling these people that, like, if it's not going to be mutual honesty, there's nothing to talk about. And I don't have any interest in clearing anything up because you already know what's up. But you want me to play into this fallacy? No. Damn. Accept no. And move along. But if you think you're just going to try to find little ways to, no, it's not happening. It's not happening. And you're going to keep intensifying your karma, thinking that you're going to come over here playing in my face. Same old shit. Same old shit. I'm telling you, some of y'all are like naturally attractive. You're naturally beautiful inside and out. Okay, and, and with this perverted family and or friends, that natural shit, sexy as fuck. Why the hell are they even thinking like? Why are they even looking at you like this? You get what I'm saying? That's the question they should be asking themselves, and then triggering themselves because of what you look like. Again, you don't have entitled problems because you're not shallow. Okay, you're not shallow. You're not vain. And if anything, these people kind of help you not be shallow and vain because of arranged things that they arranged, things that they wished upon you, um, for you to. So it's almost like something that I would talk about on Facebook. Nice to be pretty big on there is that there's pros and cons to being beautiful for real. Like it's not just all like rainbows and shit. Like no, like when you're attractive and you're beautiful and people are lustful and impulsive and shit like that. Nah, like your angelic envious, you you will face some situations of danger. You know, like you're gonna be in some dangerous situations. Like there's pros and cons to being beautiful. So that's why we don't necessarily lead with our physical appearance. Like that's not saying that we neglect that. We don't know that about ourselves, but we don't necessarily lead with that. If anything, we lead with our minds. We lead with our skill sets. Like we lead with like you know what I'm saying. That's what we lead with. Like we want people to really see us on a a deeper level, not just this. You know what I'm saying? But these are people like I don't know, like there's just something about the dopamine, like from receiving attention from something externally, something that they have, whether that be their business, whether that be them, their hair, or when they do themselves up, or car, clothes, materials. There's just something about that dopamine, okay, that they get from that. And it's like, look, I'm telling you, it keeps coming out. Your beauty and presence stops people in their tracks. Like there's people who are obsessed with that. He made him her look like a bitch. So you made somebody look like a bitch. somebody somebody who were supposed to make a wise decision. Now she want to spin the block. Yeah. But you're focused on getting your shit together, okay? Yeah. And you're capitalizing off an ending. Yep. Yeah. People sending you death magic sending wanting you to experience like significant endings and stuff like that, you're capitalizing off of it. Meaning, let me transmute that to ending fake as double-minded, double-tongued as connections. Let me get those out the way. I rather invest in the ones that show up as I show up. You know what I'm saying? So cool, you can send that over here, but this is how I'm gonna use it. I'm not gonna use it according to how you will use the death energy, but I'm certainly gonna use it in a way that's in alignment, not just with me, but with God and with wisdom, okay? Understanding that there's gonna be a rebirth that's more so aligned with me. Confirmation, we're closing out. Officially in a new era. Yep, that's what's going on, y'all. You didn't do what they wanted you to, so they attacked you. But that's okay. You're officially in a new era, in a new chapter, okay? You made a decision and it's granted you a completely new life. And some people, I mean, that death that they wanted so bad for you, it's a death to them.